Hello again, guys. So welcome to installment number 2 of Dr. Phil Gets Really Awesome Opals. Yes, it's still here. I don't know when this is going to get posted, but this is literally seconds after this one has been shown, and it is just been rebagged. I'm still sitting there going, these are amazing. Anyway, onwards and upwards. I haven't even cleaned the plate properly. You can see some dirty water. I don't care very much. Who's done this one? True Blue are the people who gave me this one. Maybe I should tell you who did the last one. I think it was Cedar Opals, from memory. Yep, it was Cedar. So Paul Sedawi. Anyway, so as I have mentioned, I am going to be Am I going to have to edit out my address on that? Probably. All right, are we ready? What have we got in here? Ooh. It's like impossible. Impossible. Oh no, this isn't too bad. Let's have a look. Ooh, lots in here. Anything else? No. Okay. So this is what I define as lots, I suppose. So look at this one. Oh, I remember. This is a Cooper Petey one. Okay, I can tell you guys. Look at this. I'll give you a hint. I paid a fair price for the other stuff, but I guarantee you, I paid $1 for this. Is that really what the guy who did this is worth? Seriously, get online, start buying opals. It's nice enough compared to what we've gotten. Okay, just so that you, what I've noticed about this is lovely opal this side, but it is directional, and the direction is a pretty rubbish direction as far as what you would like in the opal is concerned. The direction is this way, side on. But we can deal with that. What I can do is I can simply make a couple of cuts along here. Instead of doubleting it or something like that, I am going to try. I only got it for $1, so why not try? So what I'll do is I'll essentially make longitudinal cuts, and I'll see if I can make some nice gems out of it. Might make 3 or 4, maybe even 5 out of this thing. But let's move on to the main event. It looks like I might do the other one too, because there's only a few opals in this. If I remember correctly, this was another fossil opal pack. I was pretty happy with some of the fossils that I was getting. So this definitely looks fossil woodish, doesn't it? These ones were bought from Opal Auctions, I may as well tell you. I'm wondering if I've just made a rod for my own back if this video becomes popular and like thousands of people bid. But at least the people who are the vendors are going to survive. They do need to, it's the moral thing to do, isn't it? They need to pay, they need to get a good price for this stuff, or it needs to be worthwhile. It needs to be worth doing. And occasionally you get a nice cheap thing, you know. And look at this. I can't remember how much I paid for this, but I'm on a budget. I'm on a serious budget. So I can't imagine paying more than $20 for this. $20 US. So this gives us the typical ethical dilemma on the opal. It's clearly a wood opal fossil. What do I do with it? Do I cut it? Do I leave it in its natural state, or do I try and preserve it? Who knows? Lovely fossil though. I'm going to presume, and I could be wrong, that this was all mined from roughly the same area. I don't know. The reason why I'm silent is I'm thinking. This is definitely not just me trying to, grow a YouTube channel, but I'm genuinely curious. That looks like bone to me. I don't think that's wood. I think it's bone. Let's have a look at this thing again. Think of the head of a female, like think of a chicken drumstick. Think of that. You know that knobbly bit you take off the end of a chicken drumstick? See all that ridgy stuff that's going on in there? That looks like the inside of bone marrow to me. I reckon this is a bone. That doubles the conundrum, doesn't it? This, who knows what this is? Maybe this video needs to go to a paleontologist, or maybe I'm just talking around my hat. That is a possibility. But my initial thoughts are this is not wood, this is a bone. If it's a plesiosaur, for example, which it probably isn't, don't get me wrong, I mean, it'd almost be criminal to cut it. Dang. Comment section, tell me what to do. No wonder they sold it on. They didn't want to have the ethical dilemma. All right. This one looks like a... Yeah, it doesn't look like the other wood opal fossils, does it, either? But it looks more like a wood opal fossil than the previous ones did. Got a nice little sheen of green coming off it. I've got some friends in the geology department of the Sydney Uni. Maybe I should actually reach out. Just have a bit of a chat about this kind of thing before I start destroying what is potentially a valuable specimen. So I'll have fun with the other ones. They only had belemnites and stuff in there. I mean, that's bad enough, really, isn't it? Hacking those things apart. But I think I'll set these guys aside. These ones might be worth just until I know. Just until I know what I'm dealing with. That one. Yeah, I reckon that's... Yeah, that's the head of a bone. I reckon it is. Tell me in the comments. Please tell me in the comments. All right. What I'll do is I'll cut the last one. Exciting and depressing at the same time, isn't it, sometimes? All right, so I'm going to cut this one open straight away. There we go. Oh, I know who did this one. This will, this is Art Gems / Red Velvet Gems. They always do this in a deadly trap that you cannot open possibly. So I don't hate you guys, don't worry. I love what you give me. Sell me. I'm trying to open this in such a way that I don't break the packaging. I break the packaging so darn often if I just cut it open, but I don't want to waste your precious time. If you've gotten this far in the video, what have we got here? Wow, knobby rough. Let's have a look at it. Do you think, ladies and gentlemen, I will have any trouble whatsoever making a gem out of this? What is that? That's knobby. There might be a crack running through it. I'm tempted, even if there is a crack running through it, to keep the crack, because that's just amazing. That's just astonishing. And guess what? Here's a science word for you. I've got its enantiomer. Enantiomer is just a funky way of saying the other half of something, or the reverse of something. So it's a split knobby comes together like that, or some variation therein. I think I was right the first time. Yeah. Yeah, it's wood fossil. It's not a knobby at all. It's a wood opal. Yeah, anyway. Don't care. So there are so many ways to split this too. So this is just straight out gem. Barely touched that one. This guy is a little bit harder, but not that much. What I'm seeing here is there's a chunk of sand just there. And like I've told you before, ad nauseum probably, I don't mind keeping sand in the fossil, in the opal. I think that sand looks good. So long as you don't let it come straight to the surface there. I'm going to have to grind that bit off, for example. But, you know, I'm okay with it. But I'm just sitting here and, like, sorry, I'm a bit silent because I'm admiring it. I'm literally admiring it, just going, isn't it a good time to be alive? All right, I'm having a look here. So there are some choices to make. If I'm going to make a cut in an opal, what I do is I look for a piece of sand. And what I can see is I can see a sand lens the whole way through it. So that sand lens is you can see it right in the middle. You know where it is. So you see in the middle there, turn it over like that. You can see the sand there. You can see another chunk of sand right here. I don't need any funky lasers to tell me what's going on here. There is just a sand lens just going straight through that area. We know it's a wood opal fossil, don't we? So there is a really high chance that if I just cut along that sand lens, what I'll find underneath it is more sand. So we can do this democratically. Whoever's bothered to go this far into the video can tell me what they think, and we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. Good idea. So that's the split. This can be like a community opal. I might even, if someone says give it here and they can prove that they can do something really good with it, I might give it to them. All right, so there's no guarantees on that, by the way. These are looking so fantastic. So here's the final one. What have we got? This thing is at least 3 times bigger than the other one. Oh, retaining some surprise by putting it face down. That was just to give it a bit of moisture. Oh, that's interesting. It's really interesting. For those of us playing at home, that is you guys, this is ridiculously light. It is porphyritic plus. Really, really light. So I don't hold much hope for this. Sorry. Really, really, really light. There is a little piece of opal that is shining through here. I suspect that I could literally break it off. Yeah. What I'd be doing in this particular instance is I don't hold much hope for this section of the opal. I can see a little bit of colour just here. That is probably where most of the colour is. You can make a pretty decent gem just out of that. If you have a look at my thumbnail, do you want me to get verniers out? I'll edit out if it takes too long to get these. Let's have a look. I know Roy from Roy's Rocks doesn't like the verniers because he thinks, ow, well, he's got a point, doesn't he? It seems that these have been left on. Trying to zero the thing. I don't hold much hope for this set of verniers. What have we got? Let's try again. Yeah, I think it's because it's so. Oh, there we go. All right. So what we'll do is we will measure this. So just so that you can see, just open it up a bit. So we're looking at about 4.7, 4.8 mil. Wide. That's decent. And lengthwise, it'll be a disproportionate opal for sure. But lengthwise, what are we looking at? $511 mil? I don't think so. Are we still on zero? let's zero that again. Let's try that again. I'm going to just gently do it. Yeah, about 10 mil, 20 mil. Yeah, let's not push our luck here. 20 mil. Did I really need linears to tell us that? Probably not. Okay, so let's have a look at this guy. I didn't mean to create suspense here, but whilst we're there, we've got suspense. Move that out of the way just to add to the tension. So what's on the other side of this? What do you reckon? This is once again another opal split, by the way. So I reckon this does look like wood opal, doesn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Once again. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so shall we look on the other side? What have we got? So what I think we've got is we've got a hint as to what to expect here. Because I can see this material here. And maybe we can make some inferences based on what we're seeing. Once again, it's pretty porphyritic. And why? That looks like the spongy bone marrow material that I was looking at before. Could this be another organism, another bone? Because quite frankly, at this point in time, like, I'm happy to cut it into a gem, don't get me wrong, but if this is a valuable fossil, as in a valuable specimen, not, you know, monetarily, but scientifically, I'm happy to keep it. I've got more than enough to cut here. Yeah, because that just looks like, once again, it's spongy. Yeah, and this is spongy too. Is this more bone marrow? Or is this just a wood opal fossil and I'm just getting way too excited? We'll discuss this as a group, I think, if you want to. No biggie. But, yeah, look at that. So one thing I can do, though, is we can actually discuss opal formation, because I reckon that every time we have something like this, we can actually think about it. The first thing is, I always think that sand is really, really important as far as opal formation is concerned. I think that a lot of the time we get something that's lithogenic or pedogenic, which basically means forms in situ, but you need the raw material, so you need to have silica that can flow in. And I think that the silica doesn't move far. I reckon the silica actually comes from sand that's right next to it. And I reckon that's why you have precious opal right next to sand deposits a lot of the time. I have so much luck, from actually looking at a really, really sand-blown sample of opal and then just cutting along that sand seam and then just carefully removing the sand, having a look at the face once the sand's been cleaned off. So many times I've gotten the sand. Could be, I've got an opal. Could be observation bias. You never know. But I reckon I'm willing to swear by that. So what happens? You get a, whatever it is, if it's bone or plant, whatever it is, it sits there in the muck and mud and whatever else, and then the material, the softer parts of the fossil, they will come out first, obviously. Or maybe the hardest parts. Yeah, think about it. The hardest parts will be the last to go away. So the soft parts probably are the bits which actually form the opal, and then the hard parts finally go away, form cavities, and then the opal flows into that, I suppose. That makes sense, doesn't it? Or am I talking around my hat? I don't even have a hat to talk around. So sad. So what do you think? This video is going on for 20 minutes as it is. I think I am not going to touch this. I might touch it. I'm worried about touching this. I've got more than enough opal here to work with. I've got more than enough opal here to work with. I've got more than enough opal here to work with. So I think we can afford, can't we? We can afford to just set these aside until we know we're doing huge damage to posterity. So let's, yeah, comments on what you want done with it. If you've got a better idea, I'm going to give you quite an awesome look at this particular opal so that you can see everything to do with it. So if you've got an idea better than what I've got, mention it in the comment section. I'll do the same with this one. But quite frankly, I think we all know what's going to happen with this one. Someone had better produce some really good evidence as to why I shouldn't just turn this straight into a gem. These have been awesome packets of opal. I've loved it. I've loved it. Dr. Phil, very smilingly out.